So my wife and I recently, we recently braved a um, tornado warning here in East Texas, and
I
um,
heard.
yeah, so we decided in the middle of a tornado warning that we were going to travel on the roads of East Texas to drive to Tyler to see an artist that her and I have been wanting to see. Oh Lord, for at least a couple of years. The guy's name is James McMurtry. Um,
Oh, y'all
uh,
got to see him? Awesome.
yeah, so it was tough. We already had tickets for it, and then Mother Nature was like, nah, YouTube
But
is
we're like,
plenty.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Mother Nature was like, the YouTube videos are plenty good enough, and my wife and I were like, nah, YouTube
Absolutely not.
videos are not good enough. So we went anyway, of course. I'm a
Hmm.
songwriting nerd. If you're not familiar with who James McMurtry is, his father was Larry McMurtry, and Kadie has no clue who that is. But I promise you, Kadie's mom knows who Larry McMurtry was. Larry McMurtry was one of the biggest selling Western novelists of all time. So, like, the books that are about
Yeah,
Westerns, that's who Larry McMurtry was, right?
got
But
it.
James McMurtry is a fabulous songwriter, so we went to see
Mhm.
him. And the reason why he's in the news and the topic that Kadie and I will be discussing on this is basically here because we went to the show. But this is something that is relevant to the
Big,
music industry. And I'm going
big
to
time
read.
relevant.
Huh?
I said big time relevant.
Okay, good. So we're going to talk about this. Let me tell you a little bit about James McMurtry and the kind of courage that this guy has. Because not only am I a huge fan of his music, but as eccentric as he is, and from what I understand, he's a very eccentric human being. He is one of the bravest human beings I've ever heard of, and I'm going to tell you why. The headline is from pitchfork.com. I'm going to read this. It's James McMurtry plays Nashville show in drag, protesting a Tennessee law. Okay. Here in Tennessee, this is a direct quote. Here in Tennessee, we care a little bit about humankind. Unquote. The Texas singer songwriter said that while wearing a red dress while performing a song called Red Dress. Now, James McMurtry, who his latest album is called The Horses and the Hounds, which was released in 2021, performed at Third and Lindsay. I know Kadie knows the venue,
Hmm.
and in Nashville on Sunday night. Now, during his encore performance, he walked out wearing a red dress and performed Red Dress alongside the musician Betty Sue, who wore a suit.
A suit.
Okay, so they switched genders for the performance. They were. This is the important part, and this is the part that a whole lot of people who are watching this episode tonight are going to disagree with, and that's okay. They were protesting Tennessee's law that bans drag performances on public property or anywhere that children are present. And that law was temporarily blocked by a federal judge. From what I understand, the law does not exist anymore, by the way.
Good.
It's been thrown out. Um, so basically, in the state of Tennessee, they tried to pass a law. This was, I guess, when was this? This was in 2023, about a year ago. They tried to pass a law which made it illegal for a human being of the male persuasion to
To wear a
dress
dress.
to dress like a female on stage in a public place. And they also made it illegal for a female person to dress like a male person on a public stage. Now, mind you, we as human beings have inalienable rights of deciding whether we want to go to a place or not. Okay? Human beings are not going to your children. All right, if a human being is
We are
booked,
not dragging your children to a drag queen concert with a gun to their freaking head.
right. My point is these people were booked to do a show at a venue, and they did the show. And we as human beings have the inalienable right to decide to go to
Whether we
that
do.
show or
Yep.
not.
Yep.
So if we are not interested in going to the show because a person is controversial or believes a certain way, maybe that might be different than you, and you decide that it's not for you, then it's okay. And I know Kadie and I agree on this. It's okay for you not to go.
Yep.
What I don't understand is if you decide not to go, why is it still your business what happens at the venue? If the venue's okay with it, and the artist is okay with it, and the people who go to the show are okay with it, why are we letting the people who do not go to the show try to dictate to us what happens?
I mean, I was gonna say America. America, especially with even the world, one step forward, like 20 steps back.
It's so true, man. You couldn't say it any better.
Like, are you kidding me? Like, we've had so many accomplishments. So much love has been passed through the world lately, like, that you've never seen before. And what? Out of everything, this is like jelly rolling the whole fat thing. Out of everything in the picture, everything you can bitch about.
Like what?
Drag queens.
Why are people dying on this hill?
I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's just, again, it's freedom of expression. We talked about this last episode. It's all about freedom of expression, and I think people get butthurt because James McMurtry is using his platform to express.
Mm-hmm.
And
like everyone has done over, like, literally all of time. Like, people write books, people go on podcasts, people do all kinds of stuff where they say all of their opinions.
Mm-hmm.
All of their opinions. And you have a problem with a guy wearing a dress. Like, at a
venue that was ticketed. The venue is ticketed. So if you don't like it, don't go to the venue. Don't go.
Not even that. The whole law is just insane.
It is, absolutely. And it's thankfully those kinds of laws are being stricken down left and right all over this country because they are they create anti-liberty. They are taking away people's freedoms of expression, which is in the First Amendment. It was one of the first things that this country was founded on. And I think what bothers people in this country is, oh man, you got me going. But I think the thing that bothers people in this country is they are okay with their own rights. They are completely cool with their own freedom of expression, their own freedom of speech, their own freedom of religion. They're cool with all of that. As long as the other person's freedom of speech, expression, religion, right to bear arms, all of that, as long as those people's rights, I don't have to see them, then everything is cool. And that's not how rights work. That's not how they work. Okay? I'm cool with everybody believing whatever they want to believe as far as a religious way. If you want to believe in Christianity or Islam or Sikhism or whatever, Catholic, whatever you want to believe in, that's cool. I'm okay with that. But I'm not going to say to you, hey, that's ridiculous that you believe that. So do me a favor and don't say to me that it's ridiculous that I don't believe the same way that you do.
Absolutely.
That's called rights. And my rights are there whether whether yours end or not, right? So my rights don't begin with somebody else's rights end. All of our rights are the same.
And even if you don't like it, agree to disagree and shut up.
Mm-hmm. So, in closing on James McMurtry, as far as I know, is a very liberal human being.
Yep.
And he was in an ultra conservative state, the state of Tennessee. Mm-hmm. And he and his other artist, Betty Sue, who is fantastic, by the way. She opened for him and Tyler when we went Friday. Amazing! Oh my God, she's great. Look up a song called Lark. It's really good. But anyway, so much bravery to stand on that stage at Third and Lindsay and stand up for what they believed in and trying to protest a law that, plain and simple, whether you agree with drag artists, whether you agree with transgenderism, whether you agree with any of those things, that law and all laws like it are attempting to take away somebody's rights.
Yep.
Period. And if you're okay with one person's rights going away, then you're okay with all rights going away. Yours Absolutely. Included. And there's a saying going around right now that nobody is free until we are all free.
Mm-hmm.
And plain and simple, in the United States of America, in the 21st century, I have goosebumps that I actually have to say this shit. Everybody in this country in the 21st century is not free yet. And that is not cool. And whether we believe in something or not, we should all be extremely, extremely nervous that we are not all free yet in the 21st century.
Yeah. This was, around for it, but apparently this was supposed to be the time of flying cars and shit, and we're all hating each other still.
Well, I mean, we're too busy voting over stupid shit in Congress, right? I mean, how are we going to have... look, we haven't been to the moon since '69. What do you mean? How are you going to tell me it's been 55 years and we haven't gone back to the moon? And we're not even just talking about us, Kadie. The whole planet hasn't been back to the moon.
We ain't got time for that. We gotta worry about.
No, yeah, we have to figure out what drawing to put on what restroom, right? Anyway, let's. Anyway, James McMurtry, huge freaking props. I enjoyed the show. You're probably never gonna watch this episode. Maybe you will. I'm gonna fucking tag the living fucking piss out of you. I hope you do see it. But James McMurtry, Betty Sue, if you're looking for amazing music from a extremely courageous American. Y'all check it out. James McMurtry. I have a couple of questions for Kadie on this subject. The first thing is, as a minor celebrity yourself, do you agree that celebrities should be able to give their opinions?
Absolutely. And like you said, you made a good statement. Everyone should be able to stand up for what they believe in. And just because, say, this person don't have a platform and this person does, they're both talking about it just as much. Guarantee you, sorry that this person has a microphone.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, I mean, everybody has the same right. Everybody does it. You act like nobody talks about their crap. I will say that I don't like politics in my entertainment. With that said, that is not in there. I'm talking about like elections and laws and all this kind of stuff and the president, and it takes the entertainment part of entertainment. It gives you all the worries of the everyday thing that you're trying to escape from in the entertainment. But at the same time, regardless of that, everything like this and anything, there's so many issues in the world. So many issues in the world. And if someone with a platform has the courage to step up and just like stand against everybody and say what they have to say in front of these people, a lot of people would kill for that. Mm-hmm. To have that stage, to say stuff to people. A lot of people have really important things to say. And the fact that you want to sit here and be like, oh, well, they shouldn't be doing that. You would. You would.
This is a very interesting subject to me for a couple of
Mhm.
reasons. I agree with you in certain aspects about
Yeah.
politics and art mixing. Um,
Hmm.
Again, we have to talk about freedoms again, and
Yeah.
celebrities, much like ourselves, they are free to have expression
Yeah.
and speech and
Absolutely.
all of those things. For me personally, I I think there is a difference between the freedom of speech and the freedom of reach.
Yep.
Okay? So in this country, there's a lot of people who think that it's okay to say whatever you want to say about anybody, whether it's true or not. And that's called freedom of reach.
Hmm.
So you can say whatever you want about another human being, whether it's true or not. You see it on Facebook and Twitter and all these other places where people can say, oh, this person says he'll never perform with this person because he believes this and this and this. And then you go into the comment section and it's just a bunch of people hating on the person that the A celebrity wouldn't do this with B celebrity. And it's all
And it's
bullshit.
not even real.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not even a real thing. That's freedom of reach. And
Yeah.
that should not be allowed. Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, freedom of speech is a little bit different,
Yeah.
obviously. Now, for me, I think that we should have the freedom of speech to say anything we want in this country as long as it doesn't hurt another human being, group of human
Absolutely.
beings, corporations, whatever it is. If you are openly trying to hurt another person or company or whatever, then that's not cool. Like for
Mhm.
example, we're talking about like man, I'm gonna actually go there. Like we're talking about James McMurtry, who's protesting a um, a law that he doesn't agree with, and that law is taking away freedoms of human beings,
Absolutely.
right? So to me, that's commendable. Then on the
Absolutely.
other side of the coin, you have somebody like Kid Rock, who is boycotting a beer company because the beer company gave 1 6-pack of cans to a transgender human to celebrate 1 year of being a female. These cans weren't even out for public distribution, and the whole world
They were
loses their shit.
just made for a picture.
Yes,
A
that's it.
picture.
So those are the two examples that come to mind for me. I feel like Kid
Yeah.
Rock was openly hurting people by doing that. He was openly hating on a certain brand of folks, and that to me is not cool. If you're boycotting beer, fucking do it. I don't care. If you want to
Yeah.
boycott a team because they changed their name because the name is racially insensitive or whatever, boycott the team. I'm cool with that. But once you start openly targeting people, that's where I have a problem.
Yeah. And that video was really extreme.
Mm-hmm.
Really extreme. And mildly unsettling.
Yep.
Like with the message and then like just the freaking gun, man. Like it was a lot. A
And
lot.
then, like, I mean, let's be real. 8 days later, he was filmed with a Bud Light in his hand. But who am I to say? Um, but anyway, I mean, we don't have to talk about that too much. I did want to touch on one thing you did say, and that's that you don't feel like artists should mix politics with their art. I'm okay with that. I can see kind of where you're coming from with that. Do you feel like it's okay for an artist to use their platform? And the example I'm going to give here is Taylor Swift, for example, to endorse a public candidate for office.
I mean, absolutely. Again, I believe that comes with freedom of speech. I mean, if you, me, whoever, Joe Blow over across the street, I mean, if any of us, uh, everyone likes attention and everyone wants to say what's on their mind. Okay, everyone
Mm-hmm.
wants to tell you what they're thinking. Everybody wants you to know their opinion. If you had the chance, you would. And if
Mm-hmm.
I want to back somebody because I believe in this somebody, you're gonna do it.
Yep.
And sorry that they got money and they're famous and they have that reach. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Sucks to suck. I mean,
See, I'm in the same boat
over
as
it.
you. I think it's okay for them to do that, right?
Yeah.
Like with Taylor Swift with the Get Out the Vote thing, where she broke so many records on Vote.org or whatever the website was, where she got hundreds of thousands of people to register to vote. I think that's fantastic. I think people are afraid because they know who she believes in and who she supports. So,
Yeah.
like, that's probably a little bit
But
of
that has nothing to do with it at the end of
right.
the day.
So, on the
And
other side of the coin from that, like, I look at like local businesses, for example. For example, if I see a restaurant or a car dealership that has a giant political sign out front of their business saying vote for this person, I tend to not go to those places.
it literally splits, whether it's audience, um, patrons, whatever it may be,
Yep.
it splits down the middle.
You're
And
turning away customers.
and that's what you got to think about. Freedom of speech is amazing, and having your opinion is amazing, but you got to use it in a way that's not going to damage you, your business, your face.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the public eye, like you can't. Green Day was a great example of this. Okay, they. This was a few years ago, but they, and I mean, do what you will. And a lot of people listening to Green Day aren't going to be a big fan of Trump anyway. But literally, there's a song that says "F Trump," and I know there's a lot of people. Like I know a lot of people. Like if they heard that, they'd be like, Now nobody's loved Green Day to death, but nobody's really like, oh my god, Green Day released a new song these days anymore. But at the same time, like I feel like that's a terrible business move. Terrible business move. You're cutting
Yep.
out literally half of the population.
Yep. Well, not necessarily half, but even if it's
Just
not,
not.
even if it's
Here
not
and there.
half, you're cutting out something. You're
quite a
taking
bit.
away prospective customers from your brand by doing that.
Yeah.
By whether you're demonizing a candidate or
And it's really my problem is when it's within your like content. Like if I go on a podcast, go do an interview, go do whatever and say how I feel, that's fine. But am I going to sit here and write a song about like how much the election sucked or whatever, or about a law? No. I don't like that. That's when it becomes like for me is when it becomes a part of the content
and
or the business.
it's a tough balance, isn't it? It really truly is.
Absolutely.
Because like we all have the right to do that, right? Even celebrities, we all have the right to fuck Trump or fuck Biden or whatever it is.
Yeah.
We all have the right to have that opinion, but that doesn't mean it's smart to
Nope.
share that opinion, right? On either side of the aisle.
Yep.
But for me personally, on a local level, if I see a car dealership here and a car dealership here, and one of them has a Trump 2024 sign and the other one doesn't, I'm going to the one without the Trump sign. And not because I dislike Trump, but because I dislike a business locally trying to tell me what to do with my politics.
Yep.
I want to buy a car from you. That's all, right? And to keep it real, if it said Biden 2024, I would feel the same way. Okay? Just to throw that out there so I don't get any hate mail. So I think we covered that pretty well.
Yep. I think so.